afternoon. This is M. It's me. I'm not gonna say who me is. You'll see. It's Apple. I just wanted to share my reading corner because I don't know. I just felt like reading through a book with everyone. It's called Resisting Happiness. It's by Mat.Kel. And I picked this book because I really want to explore self development. And at the time, I found this book like probably 4 years ago. I was super depressed. And here's the book. That's what it looks like. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know if you see that. Let's see. Look, ignore my nails, okay? Ignore my nails. It's a mess. But this is the book, and I'm taking notes through it or whatever. Technically, I'm already on chapter 28, but I decided to start from the beginning and take notes on it because it really was like impactful for me. So, yeah, I'm just reading through it. And if you find it interesting, let me know. And if you don't, that's cool too. I just kind of wanted to do something. Anyway, so resisting happiness, it says a true story about why we sabotage ourselves, feel overwhelmed, set aside our dreams, and lack the courage to simply be ourselves, and how to start choosing happiness again. It says New York Times best-selling author. Okay, so I guess we'll start with chapter 1. Even though I said chapter 2 in the title, but I was like, oh, I've never recorded for chapter 1, so we'll just start at the beginning. Whatever. Okay, so resistance. Chapter 1, resistance. The alarm clock goes off. It's time to get out of bed. This is your first decision of the day. Will you get out of bed or hit the snooze button? You press the snooze button and roll over. Okay, look, that's me. I am definitely that. I definitely am that person. I've struggled with that for like a long time. Probably, I don't know, this is 2022. I've probably struggled with doing that since 2011. Yeah, 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 a little over 10 years. It's about right. A lot of times it's because I don't know. I feel overwhelmed by the idea of starting the day because there's so many things to choose to do. And so I'm like, I'm gonna just stay asleep. I can't fail at that. If I wake up, there's so many things I could fail at. So I guess that makes me a chicken. I don't know. Let's continue. I'm trying to fight that though, to be honest. I encourage everybody to who feels that way too, to try to first identify, why you're doing it. That's the reason I was doing it. It may be different for you, but there's so much to experience in the world. We shouldn't spend all day sleeping. And that's what I try to tell myself and encourage myself to, like, get up and move. Anyway, what just happened? Who's calling me? Oh, it's my friend. It's my friend. Okay, hold on. Let me just tell her. Let me just tell her that I cannot. I'll just tell her I can't, or that I'll call her back. Anyway, look. First of all, just a comment on my nails. They're really crappy. I'm aware of it. Okay, I'm aware of it. It's because I was wearing press-on nails with like really heavy nail glue, and I work with my hands a lot. And what ended up happening was, well, basically, when you have longer nails, you're more likely to clip them if you're not used to having them on. And so broke down my nails. Actually, one of my things on my to-do list today is to go through, clean my nails, and just even them all up, clip them and even them all up. And it took a while. I had four hang nails, and they were really deep, and so that's why I really haven't messed with my nails too much, because I was waiting for all of them to come off because they were too far down to like cut off. Anyway, they all came off literally, like the last one came off this morning. So yeah, ignore that. Now that I brought attention to it. Haha. Anyway, back to reading. Let's see. Okay. What just happened? No big deal, right? Wrong. You just lost the first battle of the day. Resistance just kicked your butt. Resistance has broken your will before you've even gotten out of bed. You will most likely be its slave for the rest of the day. I have been battling resistance my whole life. As we get a little further into this book, I think you will discover you have been too. What is resistance? It's the sluggish feeling of not wanting to do something that you know is good for you. It's the inclination to do something that you unabashedly know is not good for you. And it's everything in between. It's the desire and tendency to delay something you should be doing right now. Do you ever feel like you are your own worst enemy? Yes, I'm my own worst enemy right now. I'm procrastinating. I'm actually supposed to be charging my phones so that I can go and do Uber so I can make money. And look at what I'm doing. I decided, this is so bad. I decided, okay, while the phones are charging, I'm going to work on my resume, right? Then I was like, but one thing I haven't done in a long time is read. I need to get back to reading on a daily basis. And I was like, I never finished Resisting Happiness. Let me read that. And here we are. Procrastination at work. Self-sabotaging on getting money and being ready for applying for a job. Ridiculous. Continuing. Have you ever thought you could accomplish great things if only you weren't so busy with so many little things? Do you struggle to make decisions with confidence? Are you tired of setting goals and not accomplishing them? Do you procrastinate? Are you afraid to say what you really think and feel? Then this book is for you. If you've ever tried to accomplish anything worthwhile, then you've been face to face with resistance. You may not have called it by that name in the past, but I suspect you will in the future. It helps to call it by its name. In every moment of every day, resistance is there, waiting to pounce. The hardest war to win is one you don't even realize you are fighting. And the hardest enemy to defeat is the one you don't even know exists. Every day you are at war with resistance. Make no mistake, resistance is your enemy. It will not quietly go away and leave you alone. You have to slay it like a dragon, and you have to slay it anew each day. How does resistance manifest? It wears 1,000 masks, many of which are so effective we don't even recognize resistance is behind them. Laziness, procrastination, fear, doubt, instant gratification, self-loathing, indecision, escapism, pride, self-deception, friction, tension, and self-sabotage are just some of the ways resistance manifests its ugly self in our lives and causes us to settle for so much less than God has imagined for us. You cannot become the best version of yourself unless you wake up every morning ready to slay resistance. Okay, Beyonce! I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. It stands between you and the person God created you to be. Resistance stands between you and happiness. Okay, so I really want to focus in on this section of how resistance manifests because it literally hit every single thing I struggled with over, 15 years, really. Some more than others, but I think this is so fun, I don't know if I should say fundamental, but I feel like it's hitting. I feel like the points are being made. Let's look at that again. Resistance wears 1,000 masks. True. I have 1,000 masks, and so no one really knows the real me, including myself. I am myself, but the way that I myself is always shifting, and sometimes there's so many different layers happening, or like so many different things I'm battling inside, that my real self is not able to really come through, because it's getting filtered through all those different masks, through all those different things happening. um and yeah, the masks really are effective, because if you ask different people who have seen me in different environments, they're going to have a completely different experience of me than each other. And some things will overlap, because at the end of the day, it is me, but they're so starkly different that they would be surprised that that they're talking about the same person. And I guess in a way that's fake, being fake. But I think being fake happens when you don't really embrace who you are, or when you don't really know who you are, and you're filtering yourself or being filtered through all of these different internal things going on that then like externally manifest, you know? I don't know why I feel so talkative. I should be reading. I'm sorry. Okay. Um yeah. Recognizing resistance is behind the masks. That's an interesting one. I didn't think of it that way, but I guess that is a form of like resisting myself, resisting and embracing who I am, or maybe resisting the things externally happening. And so then, resistance appears there too. Like maybe it's like twofold or threefold. Like maybe I'm resisting things that are internally happening, resisting the external thing, and then resisting myself being myself in both of those. What is that? Four things? External, internal, resisting myself internally, resisting myself externally. Look, it's too much to think about. Too much. Too much. Anyway, you think about it. You think about it. I'm done thinking about it. All right. So let's see. Laziness, procrastination. Look at me. I am literally procrastinating right now. Facts. Fear. I'm afraid of everything, but also, like, I do crazy stuff. It's weird. Doubt. Yeah, I'm always doubting stuff, especially myself. Instant gratification. That one right there is a fight, because it depends on what it is. Like some things, I delay gratification so much, because I'm like, look, whatever. Like I can postpone that, delay that, whatever. But then other stuff, it's like I have to have it right now. It doesn't matter what else falls through, because I'm getting this right now. And it makes no sense, because it's usually not stuff that's good for me that I have instant gratification with. Let's see. Self-loathing. I would say my mood swings so severely because of self-loathing. Because I'll remember something I did or not do in my life, whether that's today or last week, months ago, years ago, whatever. And then I'll connect them to other experiences and things that I didn't do or I could have done, and how that's currently impacting me today, and who I envision myself to be, or who I want to be. And I get so pissed. I get so mad at myself. I don't know if you guys like ever experienced that, but that's what happens with me a lot of times, and it comes out in these crazy spurts of emotion. And me doing things like not getting up, not starting my day, not staying on task, exhibit, um, lashing out at people, which I've been working on, um, all sorts of things, really. Um, let's see, indecision, yes, that's how I got to recording today, yes. Escapism, literally, I have Netflix on my TV, because I'm like, well, while I charge my phones, I can watch Netflix. While I watch Netflix, I that can be my background noise as I'm working on my resume, because honestly, I feel so much anxiety working on my resume, because I have like, what's it called? Imposter syndrome. There's so many different things that I've done, because I've been so indecisive on what to focus on, that when I put it on paper, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then let's be real here. Some of them I performed the role so horribly that I don't even want to put down that I performed the role because I don't want anyone to check into it. Because if they do, and they get the feedback from the people that supervised me or worked alongside of me, it would be horrible. I used to be perpetually late for stuff, um, perpetually missing deadlines on things, disorganized, or so organized to the point where I wasn't functioning like anything, what nothing was functioning properly because I was like so micro I was micromanaging the things around me to the point where nothing was getting done because I was like, oh, the book is out of place. Oh, the pens are out of place. There's dust on the desk. There, like crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Nowadays, I'm doing much better in that regard. So I'm happy to say that the last, I would say the last four, let me see. I would say the last seven endeavors, roles, jobs, whatever you want to call them, the last seven that I've done in the past 2 years, I have immensely improved on communication. Let me put an asterisk on one of them. Actually, there are 8 things. So, 1 out of 8 of them, I have performed subpar. That is true. But the rest of them, the other 7 out of 8 of them, I had excellent communication. I showed up early or on time always, predominantly early. Um, I performed the task up to par or above par or exceeding par. I would say 90+% of like being there, um, or of performing the roles. Uh, let's see. Yeah, yeah. And before it was like just surviving through it or just doing it or resisting even doing it and just sabotaging it on my own and not like intentionally sabotaging it, but just that's what would end up coming forward because of, my emotional and mental state in those places. My emotions and my mental state and my spiritual state have such a big role in how I show up because I did not manage any of them well. And then it would impact my physical state. And so everything would just tumble like a house of cards, just done. Anyway, sorry. Mom, sorry, I just keep going. Anyway, you're in my reading corner. If you don't like it, go away because it's how I read. Let's see here. Pride. For the amount of failures that I've had, the amount of things I haven't given my full effort on, I have a lot of pride. You would think that I don't, but I actually have more pride. I think that's gotten in the way. Maybe that's why Lucifer fell, is because he had so much pride and got in the way of like his excellence coming through. But Lucifer was still like the baddest of the baddest, like he was the top grade. So me and Lucifer are different in that way because Lucifer performed like above par, beyond exceeding par. So we're different that way. Lucifer didn't let that get in the way. Lucifer let it get to his head to the point where he overran his position and thought he could do a different position, overtake the position that he wanted to have but isn't for him. So I would say I did not experience pride in that manner, but I experienced pride in the manner where I basically self-sabotaged a lot of things because I'd be like, oh, nope, that's beneath me, or nope, I shouldn't have to do that, or nope, I don't want to fail at it, so I'm not even going to try at it, whatever. Like, it came up in weird ways. or like I would avoid trying things out of a place of pride, but at the root of the pride was actually fear, and the fear was, if I fail at it, what does that mean about me as a person? And then if I succeed at it, how do I maintain that success? Can I maintain that success? Should I maintain that success? It's like all kind of crazy stuff will come from it. Don't even make any sense. Anyway, let's see. Self-deception. Yep, I'd be lying to myself all the time when I which of course resulted in lying to other people, right? When I think back on it, I've told an astronomical level of lies. Like literally since I was a child. And there would be phases where I would come out of it, but it was during phases where I got severely humbled. And I got really tired of putting up those masks. And when those masks came all the way down, it was such a different experience of life. It really was. But I had been doing it for so long that I really didn't know how to maneuver without it. I I would freak out. I would spiral amidst already spiraling. So the self-deception, that's real. So real, especially when you're like resisting who you are. So real. Friction. I have friction everywhere. I couldn't even go anywhere. I have friction everywhere. Couldn't even go anywhere, be anywhere. Couldn't even be with myself because of the amount of friction going on in all these different areas. It's I don't even know how I developed into that. Tension. Same. So much of that. Self sabotage. We already talked about that. Yep. And as Matthew wrote, you cannot become the best version of yourself unless you wake up every morning ready to slay resistance. Why did I say Beyonce when I read that before? Because Beyonce slays. Beyonce wakes up slaying. She wakes up like that. You know, like the song says, whatever. Is Beyonce like, perfect? No. Like we know this. She's a person. She is a person too, but she continuously pushes her limits, her boundaries, and that inspires me. And so that's why I said it. Also because slay all day just pops in my mind, like when I see the word slay. Anyway, it was a perfect setup. Wake up like that, wake up like whatever. Let's see. It stands between you and the person God created you to be. Yep, because you're resisting who you really are. And who you really are is who God created you to be. Or at least that's my faith. That's my faith standing. That's my spiritual view on it. You know, some of you guys may have a different view, and that's okay. That's okay. We all walk our own path and understanding, the world we're in and how that functions, how it's made, whatever. Like, but that's mine. That's mine. And so I do agree with Matthew on that. Resistance stands between you and happiness. Yeah, that's why I picked up the book, honestly, because I was just so tired of not being happy. And I'm not. I'm not happy. I'm getting closer to it, but I'm not. I am so freaking depressed and anxious most days. I don't even, like, I suppress it. I don't even talk about it as much because I don't even know how to embrace that. And it's been like that for so many years that I'm exhausted to even entertain or share that with the people around me. And it's not because they're bad, it's because I'm disappointed with myself. You feel me? Like, legit. Anyway, you have to break through resistance in order to accomplish even the smallest tasks. Maybe that's why I lie in bed all day depressed. Stupid Nat. Sorry, G, you had to die. Okay, you didn't, but I killed you. My bad. I'm not sorry. Never mind. I catch myself in a battle with resistance several times a day. Only several? Bruh. I feel like mine's literally every second. Here's a sample. Here's a simple example. I sit down to write, but instead I start checking my email or thinking about what snacks will be required to write something great. This is resistance at work. Sure, I am an accomplished author and have written 20 books that have sold millions of copies. Okay, Matthew, I see you out here selling them books. Anyway, But just like every college student who sits down to write a paper, I will have to slay resistance in order to even get started. The thing about resistance is that it is so simple, so ordinary, and so paralyzing if we are not mindful of it. Facts, facts, facts. Those are facts. Also, I need to turn on a light. It's getting dark in here. It's getting dark. It's getting dark in the Midwest. The sun is beginning to set because it's 4 o'clock in the evening. Anyway. Woo, it's cold. I need to put on a blanket or something. Okay. Rolling back to the desk. Here I come. Charge! Okay. Rolling. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, here we go. The thing about resistance is that it is so simple, so ordinary, and so paralyzing if we are not mindful of it. This is why most people who start writing a book never finish it. This is true. I actually started writing 3 books and I finished none of them. Which maybe I should work on because, I actually really like the stories. We all know people who are writing a book. I get requests from people all the time to help them get the book they are writing published. They are very keen to speak about the publishing process right now. I always say to them, focus first on writing your book. When your manuscript is finished and ready for a professional editor to look at, send me a copy, and then we can talk about publishing options. More than 95% of them I never hear from again. Resistance gets the better of them. Speaking of never hearing from again, I am very blessed. I've had 7 different people who I've encountered in random spaces who are willing to be contacts for me for getting a job in an area that I'm interested in. So first, shout out to you all. Thank you so much for being open and willing to connect me into a place that could get me to where I want to be. Now, this is not towards you all. This is a me problem. It's a me problem because like this, resisting happiness, I'm self-sabotaging. So it's not because I don't respect you all. I actually very much admire and appreciate people like you. And thank you. My goal is to push myself beyond my comfort zone and reach out to each of you, make contact with each of you. And of course, I can't work with each of you, but I at least want to thank you and connect with you again and let you know that it wasn't empty and that you didn't just reach out for no reason to someone who's just completely ungrateful or something. I'm fighting a lot of internal battles and I haven't won them yet. And I haven't really progressed to the point where yet where I'm really letting myself grasp the opportunities in front of me. And that's not your fault. That's completely on me. So I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being willing to reach out to someone that, you don't even really know like that, but you were willing to give a chance. So thank you. I hope the next person you do that with, that they take it and that they're in that position to properly utilize and respect it. Okay, sorry. Going on. I'm not sorry. Why do I keep saying sorry? No, I meant what I said, and that's what it is. Okay. Imagine all the books that are unwritten because of resistance. I wonder if Mozart or Beethoven had an unwritten symphony, or if Picasso and Monet died with their greatest work inside them because of resistance. I wonder how many diseases have not been cured because resistance got between the scientist and the cure. We don't even know if it was a scientist. First of all, professional scientists, I have a love for you. I do. But Professional scientists are not the only people in the world that come up with things. They are not. They're not the only people that research. They're not the only people that invent. They're not the only people that create. They're not. And I wish more credit would go to people who do not have that title, because it's true. Like, if you look historically, the people who have invented all these different things or whatever, a lot of them weren't scientists, inventors, engineers, whatever. Now, many of them were or became one later, but many of them weren't. They were manifesting the gifts that they had. Anyway, this isn't a shot at scientists. I love scientists. I do. It's a shot at the conforming thought process society tries to make us have through institutionalizing things. Anyway, love scientists. I used to want to be a scientist myself. So, I have a lot of love for that. Anyway, let's see. I wonder how many things never got invented because inventors succumbed to resistance. How many men and women didn't become saints because of resistance? Resistance is a slayer of dreams. Wow, dream slayer. Resistance. Dream slayer. Sorry. Looking back on today, where did you encounter resistance? It was there, wasn't it? In fact, if you really sat down and analyzed your day, you would discover that many times throughout the day, you were in a tussle with resistance. We all battle resistance daily. Popes and presidents, kings, queens, and the working class, the CEO and the janitor, the rich and the poor, the educated and the uneducated, the young and the old. Nobody gets to escape the battle with resistance. Is that why they say resist the devil and he will flee? Very interesting. I wonder if there's any connection there. The first goal of this book is simply to give resistance a name. Once you name it, you see it differently. Things that we cannot name tend to build in mystery and become dangerous. Simply naming, defining, and learning to recognize resistance in the moments of our days causes it to lose most of its power over us. It is no longer a mystery because we have named it. Oh, that right there. Naming, defining, identifying. Maybe that's why our society presently, maybe historically too, has such a hard time with quote unquote red button topics, hot topics, whatever, because we do not like defining and putting parameters on what they are, because we don't want to be held to those metrics. Maybe, like, think about it, the fights we have in politics, the fights we have in self-identity, the sexual identity, uh, gender identity, um, biological identity, social roles, professional roles, like spiritual roles. All of that seems to correlate to what that right there, that whatever, the defining, the naming, the you know, it seems to have a connection. Let's see. Name it, claim it, whatever. Anyway, when aspiring authors contact me for advice, I always ask them a series of questions about their book. One of those questions is, what is the promise of your book? They usually look at me and wonder what on earth I am talking about. Matthew, I was definitely wondering what you're talking about, because what's the promise? The promise. What's the promise? Like, what's the purpose? What is the book delivering? Like, what are we asking here? But to me, every book makes a promise. A great book delivers on its promise, and an average book does not. Learning to overcome resistance is one of life's essential lessons. Essential lessons. And the promise of this book. Okay, what's the promise of the book? Learning to overcome resistance is one of life's essential lessons. Okay, so learning to overcome resistance is the promise of your book, Matthew. Got it. The first lesson is that you never defeat resistance once and for all. Well, that's discouraging. Probably true though, because it probably maybe resistance doesn't end until you die. Maybe that's why people are led to suicide because they don't want to fight resistance anymore. And I'm not saying that insensitively. I'm saying that like really thinking about it, maybe that's one of the contributing factors when people attempt or complete a suicide attempt. Like really thinking about that, you know? Like what things are we tired or yeah, what things are we tired of trying to fight resisting or having resistance with, you know? I wonder how do you like maybe this is a book that can help people who feel suicidal too. Or just not even maybe not well yeah, like to that extent or maybe even on like just feeling hopeless, you know? Because I feel like hopelessness coincides with a lack of happiness. Interesting. It's a daily battle. True, true. Okay, so we reached the end of the chapter. At the end of each chapter is a section, and it's the key point and the action step. So let's see. Matthew says the key point of this chapter. What's the name of this chapter? I don't know. What's the name of it? Okay, chapter 1, resistance. The key point is resistance stands between you and happiness. The action step is to write down every time you encounter resistance for a week. Okay, Matthew, that's great advice. The amount of times I experience resistance every hour, I need a freaking 150 sheet notebook for that. I feel like my hand would fall off. I'm making excuses, but I really do feel that. uh Maybe that'll work though. Well, for those of you who try it, let me know. Let me know. Maybe that'll, I'll do something. Okay, chapter 2. The actual title of the freaking video. Yes, we finally reached here. How long have I been on? I don't know. I don't know. Also, how do I get this off of live? 37 minutes? Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Is it record? Like, does this record? I'm curious. Does this record and then post? Or is it just like, this may be a dumb question. Does this just record or does it also post it? Like, is this going to be a saved video? Because if it's not a saved video, I'm going to feel like I just wasted time. Which, arguably I am wasting time because I'm just talking. Anyway. Chapter 2. Your quest for happiness. All right. Here we go. We resist all sorts of things for all sorts of reasons. But perplexingly, it usually comes down to this. We resist happiness. It's perplexing because at the same time, we have an insatiable desire for happiness. Okay, so 2 points. We resist happiness. And we have an insatiable desire for happiness. Is that a juxtaposition? I don't know. I don't even remember the term definition, honestly, but it just makes me think of the word. Okay, carry on. I have been resisting happiness my whole life. I see it clearly now, but I didn't always. I caught glimpses of it here and there throughout my life, but it wasn't until I was 40 that I really recognized the patterns. What is there are patterns. Okay. There are patterns of resisting my happiness. Okay. What is most disturbing and humbling is that even now that I know how resistance works, how to recognize it, and how to overcome it, there are still daily instances when I allow it to win. Okay, hold on. There's something here. I don't know. Is that a formula? One, two, three step thing? How resistance works. Number one. I don't know what to define this as, but I'm listing it. Number one. Know how resistance works. All right. Number two. How to recognize resistance. Number three. How to overcome resistance. Okay. So there are three things. I don't know what to call it though, but I listed the three things. Okay. We tend to see these patterns in other people's lives with much more clarity than we see them in our own. Okay. Let me see. Clearly seeing the patterns of resistance. How do you spell resistance? It's in the book. Resistance in my own life. Okay. My nose. That's true though. Maybe that's why people didn't like me when I was younger, because I was so readily available to point out, critique, and criticize and remind them of their patterns and their habits that were taking away from them, or that were having a negative impact on them, or a negative impact on others, or a potential negative impact. Crazy. And it's probably because I wasn't reflecting enough on myself. So instead, I put my attention on others because it was easier to assess others than to assess me. Who's calling? Oh, okay. I don't know who that was. But really thinking about it, when you assess something about yourself, or at least for me, I don't know, maybe other people have a different experience, but once I identify something about myself and I identify that it's a negative or that it's a problem, an issue, something that needs to be fixed, I feel compelled to take action on it. And the more I don't take action on it, the more buildup there is of tension, pressure, suspense, anxiety, depression, a plethora of negative things for me. And so instead, it's easier for me not to take that time on me and instead assess somebody else, because I'm always observing things and they stand out to me. And so it's easier for me to speak on that because there's no action for me to take, because the action, the responsibility to take isn't for me, it's for the other person because it's them. And so I remove myself from having to take any action, but I feel a sense of release of some sort because I'm identifying problems and giving what feels like a solution to them. And I'm not the person that has to take action on the solution or on the problem. And so there's nothing left for me to do. But then it opens up that I still have things to do. People are texting me. What is it? What is it? Yeah, okay, it's nothing important because it didn't stay on my screen long enough for me to see what it was. Who is it? I don't know. Anyway. Woo! Almost knocked it over. Let's see. We tend to see these patterns in other people's lives with much more clarity than we see them in our own. For years, I have observed people resisting happiness. We have seen it in the lives of our family, friends, and colleagues. We have all seen patterns of laziness and procrastination cripple people personally and professionally. We have all seen patterns of fear and self loathing turn beautiful, intelligent people into a shadow of their true selves. We have all sat by while people we love sabotage their chances at success and happiness over and over again. These are the patterns that we see in people's lives, patterns that make us wonder why. Then there are the times when we watch as someone we love, against the advice of everyone in his or her inner circle, does something monumentally stupid. Okay. It's me, okay? First of all, it's me. It's definitely me. Because that right there, that is me to a T. I've had so many people in my inner circle and have lost so many people who were in my inner circle because of that very thing. I would push forward and do the thing despite literally everyone being like, that is a terrible idea. It's probably going to harm you, or it's going to have a negative result, and it's not going to build into you, and it's going to impact everyone else negatively too. I'm not going to go into specifics about it, but I'm just going to say every time that my entire circle was against it, like my entire circle, family, friends, mentors, entire circle, including internally feeling against it, and then deciding, despite all of that feedback, going forth with it, doing it anyway, I have not yet to see a moment where that turned out right. I have yet to see it, because every time I did it, I had such a huge price to pay for that decision. And some of them I will never be able to recover the losses on, because they are things that once they happened, I couldn't go back on. And those things, thinking about those moments, those instances, those are the moments where I feel severe self-loathing. They are. And I see how they have manifested in my life since the moment of making those decisions, and how hard it is to backpedal from them, recover from them. The only thing left I can do is grow from those experiences and try to bring forth something positive from having those experiences. And sometimes I really get so, my heart gets so full of sorrow around those moments, those memories, and seeing how different my life could be right now if I hadn't made those decisions. And a lot of the times when I made those decisions, the results of those decisions had such a severe impact on how I viewed myself, how people viewed me, how I felt about myself. And it really killed my self-esteem, my self-image. It was very destructive. So I would encourage you, and I'm talking to myself too when I say this, the next time your entire circle brings to question a decision you're about to make, I should really, really consider why they are putting forth that objection, that concern, that warning, that caution. Is there something that I am trying to prove by going against it? Because I know myself. A lot of times I'll go against it because I'm trying to prove something to myself. I'm trying to validate something to myself. And there are things that can't get proven and can't get validated through those decisions. But yet I make them anyway. Something to think about. Okay. We wonder to ourselves, why would anybody do something so stupid? I wonder that about myself all the time. The answer is universal and disarmingly simple. People do stupid things because they mistakenly believe those stupid things will make them happy. Yes, yes, yes. Write that down. I do stupid things because I mistakenly believe those stupid things will make me happy. And happy is the right word because the only reason I'm doing those things to prove something to myself or to validate something for myself is because that proof, that validation is what I believe will lead me to feeling happy, to being happy. So happy is the right word. That's true. Because then I can feel happy about myself, happy about what's happening around me. And that's true. Matthew, that's a good point. It's a very good point, Matthew. This is the paradox that surrounds our quest for happiness. Oh my God, I am on a quest for happiness. I am on a quest for happiness. It's true because I feel like pursuing my purpose in life, the only reason to pursue whatever purpose God has for me is because I feel like the purpose, fulfilling that purpose, will result in me feeling happy. Wow. Facts. Facts. We know the things that will make us happy, but we don't always do them. Do I know the things that will make me happy? I guess so. I need to spend some time with that one, Matthew. Let's see. We know how to unleash happiness in our lives, but we don't. Why? Resistance. We are all on a quest for happiness, but resistance gets the better of us. I know the people, things, behaviors, and experiences that make me happy. People, things, behaviors, experiences. People that make me happy, things that make me happy, behaviors that make me happy, experiences that make me happy. I feel like I need to write a list. Yep. The blank that make me happy. 1. The people that make me happy. 2. The things that make me happy. 3. The behaviors that make me happy. Oh crap, my handwriting is trash. Okay, Marissa, do better on the next one. 4. The experiences that make me happy. Experiences. Huh. Interesting. This is recycled paper, so only one side of the page is actually able to be written on. Anyways, it's a good list. So if those people, things, behaviors, experiences, if I put them in the blank and they don't make me happy, that means that's not something for me to do, be around, whatever. Take action with, I guess. Interesting. I just got a formula. Ooh. Okay, anyway. It is no surprise to anyone, I suspect, that these are the same people, things, behaviors, and experiences that help me become a better version of myself. Ooh, hold on, let me write them down. Those are the things that help me become a better version of myself. Is today a weekday? Why is that child walking like, oh, it's Sunday. I'm looking out my front window. It's where my desk is. It makes me very happy. Oh my God. Ah, Lord. Clumsiness. Anyway. Working hard makes me happy. Does it? I don't know if I share that, Matthew. I guess it depends on what I'm working hard at. And there is no work that brings me more joy than writing. Writing makes me happy, and at the end of a good day of writing, everything is better in my world. At the end of a good day of writing, everything is better in my world. Okay. Still, every time I sit down to write, before I can even get a word down, I have to battle and slay resistance. I have to battle and slay every day. I have to battle and slay resistance. I really want to make that a saying. Battle and slay. Hey. Battle and slay. Hey. Battle and slay. Battle and slay. Hey. Battle and whoop. Hey. Battle and slay. Battle and slay. Yay. Okay, anyway, my bad. Let's see. Battle and slay. Hey. Battle and slay. Hey. Battle and slay. Hey. Whoop. Okay. That was like real catchy for me. Anyway. Oh, that was the end of the page. Cool. Let's see. A morning walk makes me happy. It clears my mind, fires up my metabolism, and gets the endorphins moving through my body. There is no comparison between a day with a morning walk and one without it. And yet, resistance fills my mind with 100 excuses at that moment of decision each and every morning. Ooh, that's a point right there. Resistance fills my mind with excuses at the moment of each decision. It's true. It's true, Matthew. I've experienced that all the time. All the time. Okay. Sitting down for a few minutes of prayer and reflection at the beginning of the day makes me happy. Okay. Sitting down for a few minutes of prayer and reflection at the beginning of the day. I feel like I should write that down. Sit down every morning for prayer and reflection. Okay. It gives me the clarity, focus, perspective, and gratitude I need to make the most of the day. I feel like that's the list. 1. Clarity. 2. Focus. 3. Perspective. And 4. Gratitude. Ooh, gratitude, 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 gratitude. So important. Important. But almost every day I am tempted to put it off until later or skip it altogether. Why? The allure of action, the temptation to believe that going somewhere or doing something is urgent. What? Let me read that again. But almost every day I am tempted to put it off until later or skip it altogether. Why? The allure of action, the temptation to believe that going somewhere or doing something is urgent. I don't get it, Matthew. Almost every day you're tempted to put off prayer and reflection or skip it altogether because the allure of action, the temptation to believe that going somewhere or doing something is urgent. Oh, okay, so you put it, you're tempted to put it off or skip it altogether because you're lured into thinking that something else is more urgent. Oh, facts. Okay, that I gotta write down because I definitely almost missed it. Tempted to put off or altogether skip prayer and reflection daily because I am allured into believing that something else is more urgent and will have more importance than the result of me doing prayer and reflection first. Oh, facts. My hand hurt after writing that one. Facts. That one right there. That one right there. Let me star that. Let's put stars around that. Because that right there, man, we're going to circle that one. That's my favorite point of this chapter. We haven't even finished the chapter, and that's my favorite point. Okay. This is one of my first struggles with resistance each day. And resistance knows that this is the most significant battle of the day. Ooh, put that there. Let me put that in marker. The most significant battle of each day. Yep. And some people may be thinking, well, I don't believe in prayer. Well, if you don't believe in prayer, that's fine, but do you believe in reflection? Do you believe in, gathering your thoughts and reflecting over what's happened, the prior day and what you want to see, what your vision is for this day, like maybe if you don't believe in prayer, maybe you can still do the reflection portion of like, let me sit with myself, sit with and really think and reflect on what's going on and what's the purpose for today, what do we really want to achieve today, or what do we want to embrace today, something like that. I don't know if that's what you were getting at, Michael, but that's what I'm gonna go with. Let's see. Let's. If resistance can keep me from praying, it will win many more battles throughout the day. There are a dozen other examples, but starting my day with prayer, taking a walk, and jumping straight into my work is a bulletproof recipe for me to exponentially increase my chances of having a fabulous day. Ooh, okay. Method of success right there. What makes you happy? Do you know? Before we jump into that question, a better place to start might be with this question. Are you happy? No, I am not. That's why I'm reading this book. I'm not yelling at you, Matthew. I'm yelling at me. Good question. Okay. First, question 1. Am I happy? Question 2. What makes me happy? Important questions. Give yourself a happiness score between 1 and 10 over the past 3 months. Ooh. What is 10 like the happiest or something? Okay, if 1 is least happy, like not happy at all, I guess, and 10 is super, super happy. I would say over the last 3 months, I'm probably a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I've been really, really, really unhappy. Really unhappy. And it's really, I'm unhappy with myself, you know? Not really factoring in other people or anything like that, but I'm really unhappy with how I've led my life to this point. How I've wasted the last 10, 15 years of my life. How I really didn't go for the things that I really, really wanted. How I disrespected myself. How I disrespected the people I claimed to care about. How I wasn't present for a lot of things. How I didn't stick to my own, like everybody has a code, like maybe a code of conduct or a code of standards, code of morals, code of, like, the things that make you you, I guess, your true self. I really didn't stick to any of them. I really didn't embrace any of them in a healthy way. It was either in excess or in recess. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but anyway, moving on. Let's read. Don't base it on how you feel today or over the past week. You might just be having a bad week. 3 months gives us a better look. Okay, so review happiness score. Based on past 3 months time period. Okay. Okay, Matthew. Got it. Got it. Let's see here. 3 months gives us a better look. What's your happiness score? Scribble is somewhere on this page. Do I? Okay, fine. 1 least / not happy to 10 super / most happy scale. Today's score from, let's see, December, November, October, right? From October 18th, 2022 through December 18th, 2022 equals 3 out of 10. Sad face. Aw. I don't really want to be honest about it, but that is truly my happiness score. No wonder I've been in such bad emotional and mental states. I've been fighting every day with this stuff. It's true. Okay, Matthew, I scribbled the score. Thank you for encouraging me to do that and really address that. Okay. Most people think they are reasonably happy, and most people yearn to be happier. I am yearning happiness and to be happier. I feel so low, Matthew. It's true. So let's do something about that. Let's increase your happiness score. I am certain that what I am about to share with you in these pages is going to flood your life with happiness and so much more. It's time to stop resisting happiness. It's time to stop destroying our own happiness. We do it in so many ways. Ooh, my arm itches. Dang, Matthew. Those words are giving me goosebumps, I guess. I don't know. Yes, Tum Tum, we're gonna eat soon. We're gonna eat soon. I haven't had breakfast or lunch yet. But to be fair, I was at 2 parties last night. Christmas parties. Ayy. Shout out to the besties. Ayy. And shout out to the other bestie who wasn't able to be there. You know who you are. You better know who you are, girl. I'm coming to see you in February. Anyway, let's see. I miss you, by the way. We need to video chat. I haven't seen your face in entirely too long. Okay, anyway. Let's increase your happiness score. I am certain that what I am about to share with you in these pages is going to flood your life with happiness and so much more. It's time to stop resisting happiness. It's time to stop destroying our own happiness. We do it in so many ways. Do you worry about things you have no control over? Worry destroys happiness. Write that down. Yep, write that down. Worrying destroys happiness. Don't worry about things that I have no control over. I do that perpetually. So that right there is a severe challenge for me. But okay, I'm going to try it, Matthew. I'm going to keep trying. Too many gnats, I swear to God. Do you compare yourself with others in an unhealthy way? Yes, I do. I do. And the people that I compare myself to in the most unhealthy way are the people I shouldn't even be thinking about, honestly. There are people who I really admire who I don't even have a relationship with them, but I'm aware of them and how we're connected, or how we were connected rather, was really distressing, very heartbreaking, and they are people who at that time, and maybe at this point in time, I don't know, it's been a long time, so I don't even know, their current step, like, I don't know if I should say status in life, but their current positioning in life. I know for sure back then they could definitely sun me, quote unquote, Nicki Minaj. um, and at least one of them attempted to sun me. I'm very stubborn. So I completely fought back on that one. But there are some things that they were completely right about. They were completely right about. And sometimes I have nightmares about them. Sometimes I have dreams about them. And I think it's because in my heart, they are some of the people that saw me the clearest. And said it straight up. And it really, I felt so low. I did. I felt so low. I didn't even know how to accept that and how to embrace those things about myself, and the fact that the people that I really didn't want to see me in my truest form are the people that saw me the clearest in my truest form. I was an immense liar. There are lies that till this day I will probably take them to the grave because they were so severe. They were so severe that by sharing them, will the truth set me free? Yes. There will also be severe consequences for me sharing those truths. It's like, metaphorically speaking, it's like being a convict that hasn't been caught by the authorities, and you could get like 5 life sentences for the shit if you get convicted. Like, the penalties for admitting those things are so severe that I don't even want to talk about them. I don't. Because some of the relationships in my life that I currently have would be maybe not shattered, but definitely cracked in a severe and possibly unrecoverable manner. Some of them would absolutely be shattered. They would.